and welcome to episode 785 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, October 4th, 2021. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will. Full house of hosts today to talk about, well, first of all, before we talk about what we're going to talk about, trivia was amazing, I thought.
Oh, yes.
I thought trivia was great on Friday night.
Biggest showing so far, right? By far. Like, it was
huge.
Like 50 people.
Huge showing. Really? Oh. Huge showing. Lots of participants. And also, shout out to Laura Lynn and Jason, who were trendsetters, because there was lots of couples.
Yes.
Lots of couples.
Couples are welcome.
As a team. Yeah, they're very welcome. It was a nice vibe. Very, very relaxing.
Yeah, I had a couple couples on my team. We got second, so I did not win. Congratulations to Will. Will's team won. So that's two wins for Will, 2 wins for me.
2 and 2.
Pat, how'd you do?
I don't really recall.
Okay.
We'll have to check the tape. I don't know.
Okay.
If you do check the tape, you might find out that Pat had trouble with the last question, final question.
Who cares?
Final round.
What was the last question?
When they're talking about
keyboard thing.
Who the Super Bowl champions were in 1997,
keyboard riddle.
Do they say who finished last? No, it's not even part of the conversation. It's irrelevant.
Pat's team always does well until the final question. He even choked. He even iced
kind of a gold, silver, bronze thing.
He iced himself before the final question. He asked Michael like a question about like what happens if he tried to make a joke during the final thing and then he iced himself. I was like, Pat, are you icing yourself? And then everyone laughed and then he iced himself and he didn't get the.
What was the riddle? I want to hear it.
Okay, what command key on your keyboard, if you replace one of the words, is actually like
one of the letters?
If you replace one of the letters on a command on the keyboard, it becomes a
what happens
a term for like
change.
A term for rapid change or like a reaction to an outlash or
reaction to change or
it's backspace backlash or something like that.
Backslash
backlash. Yeah.
It made me upset because it
was great.
Like no less than.
Shout out Bartender's Bluff.
6 hours of my week is spent listening to podcasts about technology.
Shout out. Yeah, it's a tough one for you.
Yeah,
no, that was great.
Pride myself on what I know about computers.
2 and 2, Pat,
and change, and you're progressive. Oof, it's tough.
Pat's still looking to get off the schneid, as they say.
Yes, he's like Leeds United.
Pat is representing Leeds.
Let's do the news.
Let's do the news.
All right. Let's do the news. Cup of coffee in the big time is up first.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Holidays, history, and trending news. But first, a fun fact. There are more trees on Earth, about 3 trillion of those, than stars in the Milky Way galaxy, which there's 100 to 400 billion of those. So,
what?
Wow. 3 trillion trees on Earth. That's mind-blowing. Also,
I don't believe it.
Think about this. Also, you could fit about 1 million Earths inside the sun.
What?
Yeah. Those are ratio facts.
Damn.
Jesus.
Crazy ratios right there.
The tree one.
The tree one will blow your mind when you think about it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit shaken.
I just Googled it because I didn't think you were telling the truth.
Didn't mean to set you guys off like that, this early in the show, but it blew my mind, so I had to share it with you.
I'm going to dig into that, figure out exactly what they're considering a quote-unquote tree.
Right, it could be a shrub. It could be a shrub. Pat, something else we got to dig into, though. This is a fact check from Friday's episode. Roger Maris's grandson happened to be listening, and he DM'd us. He said, listening to the Friday episode, and y'all said Roger Maris married Marilyn Monroe. Wrong guy. Haha. That's my grandfather. Not cool calling him a cuck. He married my grandma, who was his high school sweetheart. So
you got to apologize to the Maris's.
Look, I made a mistake.
We've already apologized via text, yes.
And I'm sorry, but I'm also sorry that we lost your grandfather too early to ALS.
Yes.
Oh, that was Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, he's joking.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to clarify. I think it was
The
Joe
luckiest man in the
DiMaggio
world.
that married.
Well, we should have known. We should have known it was Joe DiMaggio because that was his nickname. It was Joltin' Joe and the Cuck. They're like, now batting for the New York Yankees, Joe the Cuck DiMaggio.
To Maris's grandson, though, I will say this: your grandfather holds the real home run record, in my opinion.
That's true. He wasn't taking steroids.
It was tainted.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. 100%.
Maris, it should just stop. All baseball stats should just stop at Maris. You know,
He sounds like a man's man. Married his high school sweetheart.
Yeah,
Didn't
good
take
guy.
steroids.
Oh,
good
yeah.
guy, not a cuck.
He's what Biden wish he could be. Really.
Roger Maris.
I think
Yeah.
most people probably wish
Yeah.
they could be. I don't know why-
Biden thinks he's like
Haven't
Roger
quite
Maris,
through
but he's
Biden
really
yet.
not.
I'm sure most people wish they could be Roger Maris. Okay.
Weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
You guys get it. Will gets it.
It's just,
Republicans get that joke, right?
I mean, it's funny. It's just, it's like, I think Mark said it's a guy that all men probably look. It's like
Yeah.
he's like the Robert Redford meme.
You know
He's
who'd
like-
want to be that Roger Maris, but never will. He's our Democratic
It's
president.
just,
Go
it's
Biden.
funny to think of Joe Biden just cowering in an encounter with Roger Maris.
Oh, he would absolutely. If he was still alive, we'd look up to him, shake his hand.
He crumbles.
Good point, Wes.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah. Something to consider. October 4th, holidays. It's Child Health Day, which is also like Anti-Bullying Day. I'm just going to lump it up into Child Health Day. National Golf, Taco, and Vodka Days, all three separate celebrations. And of course, 10-4 Day, October 4th, which is radio operator for OK.
Big 10-4, buddy.
Affirmative.
Roger.
Over
Yep.
and out.
10-4. 10-4 on 10-4 Day. 10-4 Day in history. Just a
We
couple
got some lot
little
lizards
things.
coming in. 10-4.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
That's what you like to
10-4.
hear.
Okay, and affirmative are not the same thing always.
Okay,
Right.
well, I guess but it means it's an affirmative answer, but it means okay.
Did
Yeah.
you copy, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm just
10-4. I understand you. Yeah.
could get you into trouble. I'm just thinking when you start bringing lot lizards in, if you're defining exactly what 10-4 means. you know?
10-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's.
I think
wife
you're
might
just
be
saying
listening.
okay to their presence. I don't think you're necessarily guaranteeing that you're going to get down on the lot lizards, but I don't
Right.
know, trucker. I don't know how it works. You know,
With lot lizard, it's more like 10-4s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
They roll in packs.
That's a lot of ladies for one little cab, you know.
Yeah.
that's a stinky cab.
Yeah.
It's going to get sweaty in there. Real steamy cab. Okay, 10-4 in history. Today in history, October 4th. In 1582, pretty important thing happened on 10-4. The Gregorian Calendar was introduced. And so, like, that's the calendar everybody uses now. So, like, I guess everybody had different calendars before 1582.
That's good that unify. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah.
How'd they spread the word on that?
I got books. I don't know.
That's great
Yeah.
marketing. Yeah.
Bit of an imperfect calendar though, with the whole leap year situation.
Yeah, February. Yeah, definitely could use
Tell you
some
who
luck.
wishes he created the Gregorian calendar is Joe Biden.
Absolutely.
He could never.
There's someone out there that understands exactly what I was talking about.
That's a real man's calendar.
What are you talking about?
All right, and then the other notable date on 10-4 in history is 1957. This is when Sputnik I was launched by the USSR, which was the first satellite which orbited the Earth until 1958. So 1957, pretty big step in the Cold War for the old Soviet Union.
That was the first and last time that the Soviets bested us at anything.
Well, it puts that first Chinese spacewalk in 2008 into perspective too. Like Sputnik was 1957.
We got him
Yeah.
back in the Atlanta Olympics in the heavyweight division. Was that a Russian guy that
Crew
Rulon
Ellen,
Gardner beat?
yeah, that Rulon Gardner took out.
That was our payback.
True.
Yeah.
Finally got him back. Also landing on the moon, allegedly.
True.
Big payback.
We landed on the moon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Probably. I mean, it's best to think that, right?
With
Yeah, I mean,
certainty.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I love to
Pictures
think
were
that.
all real too.
Yeah.
100%. Let's move it on to the trending news of the weekend, basically, for your Monday morning. Catch you up. Honorable mentions, just one. Bank of America had an application outage that lasted most of the day Friday, which is super scary if you think about it. You know?
On payday, they were out. They had an outage on payday.
Yeah, like the biggest bank in the world just can't work. It's
at the end of the month on payday, right before rent's due.
What was the first of the month? I guess October
yeah.
1st.
That's bad.
Yeah, not good. Not
I mean,
good.
when you say that's scary, is that scary like this is a bummer because I can't get at my funds, or it's scary because it means like I might be hacked?
Think how fragile the systems are. The support. That's the biggest bank. Like probably most people's money in America, or like half people's money in America, in there. It's just
You want that thing humming.
Outside of West, who carries cash? It's like if the bank's down, that's bad.
yeah. It's like the Colonial Pipeline
West,
hack.
yeah.
It's just like it makes you
Uncles.
realize how fragile we are. Kind of.
If it goes down again, I have to go hang out with Wes all day and like run a tab. Like okay, keep a tab
with
going.
his cash.
Have you ever seen Wes take out his little piece of paper that he keeps track of his cash on?
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's what you'd like everyone to
That's
think.
something
Wes.
you made up.
Just saying.
No, but the hundreds are real.
Got too much cash right now.
Yeah,
I'll float you. Got a pen? You have a small pencil I can write that down?
It's been a busy weekend, West Collective.
Oh God.
All right, number 3 in the trending news, entertainment. 2 entertainment updates. The Many Saints of Newark released on HBO Max, and I think in theaters on Friday. It's a movie. It's a prequel to The Sopranos. Anybody watch it?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
did
nice.
too.
You saw it? You guys
What'd
both
think,
saw it.
Pat?
I think it was well made for sure. Interesting. Definitely. This might be because I was watching it on a Friday night after we had a couple cocktails, right? But I almost wish that they had like pop-up video style the characters' names of who was who, because it's got like a young Paulie,
Right.
young Silvio, or whoever, just little.
And I don't know the Sopranos series as well as I should, so like I basically only knew who Tony was. The whole
And
time.
David Chase, who wrote it, was supposed to direct it, didn't get to direct it because I guess his wife got sick. Who created The Sopranos? He did like a pretty good job of like sneaking in there, like you're my great uncle, Jerry, right? Like to kind of like
It's a pretty good movie.
exposition about who was who, but they built it like an incomplete film that just ends, and you're like, oh, because they so desperately want another one. But that pisses me off when people do that. Like when they make a movie that's not an actually complete movie.
You think they're pushing for another?
I mean,
filler in
so
between.
hard.
Well, Tony, his actual son, Gandolfini's actual son, he looks pretty young in the film. I haven't seen it yet, but he looks young enough that they could do several before the first season of The Sopranos, because he's like in his 40s. He's got like teenagers, right? Like
The way
and this
they
guy doesn't have
made-
any kids yet. He's not even married, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but he certainly
he's
doesn't
like
have
19.
teenage. Yeah, so I mean, you've got like a 20-year gap between the end of that movie and like
Yeah, they
Right.
keep it going.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The way they made it was absolutely to make more. I will say this. In general, the coolest part about it is Tony Soprano, if you watch Sopranos, very complex character, right?
Yeah.
Over the course of the 10 seasons. So seeing some of the things that may have happened in his childhood that
Cool.
led to who he was as an adult as we knew him,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
cool.
cool. That was kind of
Is
cool.
his uncle? I don't want to give too much away. Is his uncle in charge, basically?
Yeah, I mean, his uncle's big in play. I will
It's-
say
it's
that,
about
and I'll say that if you're
Christopher.
interested in
Okay.
his uncle, watch the movie.
It's Christopher's dad. It's What's Up with Christopher's Dad.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know the lore of Sopranos too much, and I still was able to enjoy it, so it must be
Nice.
pretty good. Other stuff that we're watching: Love on the Spectrum, Squid Game, and The Wire, of course, still catching up on that.
Great series, all three of them. Holy shit! What a roundup of series right there. Ooh.
That's a lot. So
Michael from Love on the Spectrum is who Joe Biden wants to be as well.
You're a big Michael guy.
Love Michael.
Yeah.
He's a really sweet guy who
Yeah.
likes crystals.
Yes, he's the crystal guy.
Yeah.
I like Ronan too. Ronan's a nice guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice guys on there. They're all pretty nice.
Love on the
Shows-
Spectrum is people who have autism or on the autism spectrum trying to find love. Documentary.
It's
On
a really
Netflix,
nice
right?
show. Yeah,
It's
it's on
amazing.
Netflix. It makes you feel like.
Are you into
happy.
season 2 yet, Mark?
Yeah, I started it.
You blew through them, huh?
I started it this weekend, and I have like two episodes to go in season 2.
About
Yeah.
to fly to Australia, find some of these spectrum cats. That's how into
Yeah.
it Mark is.
I love the show.
I don't think I can comment on it without sounding very insensitive, but I would like to talk to you about what Katie, the relationship that the one guy has with Katie. I want to dive into.
Oh
that
yeah, that's Ronan. That's my boy Ronan.
Yeah,
I think,
Ronan.
I think Katie has Down syndrome.
I think she does too.
Yeah, she's one of the few that like a lot of it's mainly autism, but I think Katie has Down syndrome as well. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think Ronan can maybe do a little better than Katie.
Oh come on!
All right, let's move on.
Oh come on! No, the show is very very feel good. Jesus,
Sorry, this is what I was
Katie's
thinking.
cute and nice. And,
She sure is.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay.
Moving along to the last entertainment update. SNL debuted their new season, the 47th season, with a new Biden impersonator, and it's still, it's all right.
He's like a new cast member, right?
It's not great. The new guy who's impersonating Biden is James Austin. It's a fine impersonation,
Right.
but overall, I just think the writing on their sketches is still, kind of stale. Like the
It is
opener
stale.
was just all about making fun of Kristen Semina, which is like nobody knows who Kristen Semina is or whatever. So it's like it's just not going to be like that much of a knee slapper in the first place.
She did have the best joke. That was the best written joke in that monologue, which was very stale and boring. Was like she's like, "Excuse me, I'm a bisexual triathlete from Arizona.
Cecily
I'm
Strong,
very relatable
right,
or whatever."
was her. That was good when she said that for sure. But also it's just like it's Kristen Cinema jokes isn't like going to bring the house down, and I think like it's a bit of a sad reality for SNL if they were already struggling with Trump as the target. It's not going to get way better.
They make the same jokes we make all week, just less edgy. Bottom line, if you watch the show, it's recycled jokes. It's the same content. It's the same stories in the Weekend Update, and it's just not as edgy. I would say it's just stale. It's just safe.
Yeah. I only watched the opener just because that's what trended. But
and obviously that's a huge brag, but it just is the way it is with SNL, which is the best comedy show of all time.
The Norm Macdonald days are gone.
Yeah.
Like for that much of
Yeah.
Anyone can beat SNL these days.
I feel like
knows.
Ronan may be settling.
Back to Ronan and Katie, huh? Yeah, let's take it off.
Is he love on the spectrum?
Let's take it off.
I feel like Ronan may be settling a little.
Did anybody
Norm
besides
would go after Katie? Yeah.
Did anybody besides Mark or I watch any parts of that SNL? That new SNL?
Didn't see it.
No.
It was nice to see Owen Wilson. It's just they don't go for it anymore. It's just safe. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm gonna still watch it because I've loved SNL forever. But
Right. It's very safe. It seems like it's like a safe space for them and their audience at this point. It's almost like a weird improv night where everybody's in on the same jokes together, but it's not funny.
yeah, and then they go out for drinks afterwards.
Yeah,
so.
it's just that's the vibe.
Show's over. Now let's do Coke. Yeah.
Let's move it on to a much more fun topic. Number 2, Powerball. This thing has been growing since June 5th. I think that's a record streak from what I was looking up. And it's now up to at least $670 million jackpot for tonight's drawing. And it's just great, to think about what you could do with the lump sum 300 million take home if it's one ticket.
That's more than
awesome.
that.
Are we buying back in? Are we buying back in today, Wes?
Yes, and if you want to get in on our pool, join the Discord because we have a lottery, channel on there where we play lottery and you can get in on our pool.
Patreon.com/Hard Factor.
Yeah, we're going back in. Every time the lottery gets over 500 million, it costs everyone in the Discord at least $120 because I'm just demanding everyone send me $10. And
Well, it's great.
That's 5 tickets. It's fun as fuck.
We're gonna hit
amazing.
one of these. Look, there's drawings every Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday for the Powerball. Like Wes said, get in the Discord if you want to get in on our lotto pool, which we're gonna hit one of these days. So.
Not jumping in a friend's lotto pool is the closest I've ever come to playing Russian roulette. Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I mean, straight up, because it's like, there's a lot of bullets in that. I mean, there's a lot of chambers and only one bullet in that gun, but oh my God, if it hits.
No, I mean, if it hits,
It's the worst feeling.
If it hits, you're going to be playing Russian roulette for real.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling when
And you're not in it. And you're not in it.
You're at the office and the person leaves with the cash and you couldn't get your cash in on time and everybody else is just looking at the tickets all afternoon. Like, oh it's the worst.
It's
That's
dangerous.
the thing.
Get in.
Wes is bullying everyone to get in
I am.
3 times a week.
And I say
You have to get in.
I send a message usually like, God have mercy on your soul if you didn't send me money. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great point.
We're keeping a list of the people that wanted to get in and didn't, so we can
Yeah.
ruin their lives with postcards later down the road. Yeah.
The lotto's super important. And while we're doing our lotto talk, let's talk about the research here. This will move Powerball to 6 of the top 8 lotto jackpots ever. Mega Millions has number 2 and number 3, but Powerball has number 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one will also be number 8 and growing.
Top 3 are a billion or more, it looks like.
Top 3 are over $1 billion, and 2 of those were one winners only in the Mega Millions. The one Powerball that was 1.5 billion, the biggest jackpot of all time, was split by 3 tickets.
Man, I didn't know that they got big enough to be in the billions, which if you're a billionaire,
We're on our way with this one.
if you're a billionaire, that's got to piss you off, dude.
Yeah, these lucky bastards
no,
are in our club.
nobody's getting $1 billion
just
take home though.
Coming
No.
into your,
Yeah, that's
into your
true.
club.
like 800
After
million,
taxes,
700 million.
The 1.5, if it was one winner, would have been close to
Very
close,
close to
yeah.
a billion.
Nobody's getting close to $1 billion. Yeah, right. The 1.5 you could have got close if it was one winner.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
I'm with you, Pat, though. That's got to chap their ass. 'Cause, Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to hear more about billionaires later, aren't we?
Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hopefully so. All right. Number 1, the cream of the crop today.
The cream of the crop!
You know it's football. It's Monday during football season. Of course it's football. Football is the number 1 trend. It dominated like the trends the entire weekend. In college football, number 3, Oregon was shocked by Stanford. Kentucky upset Florida. Michigan dominated Wisconsin. But in the end of Saturday, everybody knew number 1, Alabama, and number 2, Georgia, who shut out the hot starting Arkansas Hogs, are by far the 2 best teams in college football after week 5. Nobody's really close. So.
yeah,
that
Georgia really said, "Don't fuck with us." I didn't. see that.
37-0.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was a statement game.
Yeah. That'll be a good SEC championship game and potential rematch in the Natty.
And Natty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double. All right. And European football, the gambling thread, patreon.com/hardfactor, was all over the Liverpool Man City over. Also, Leeds did finally win. They got off the schneid.
Oh,
so
man.
gotta love the footy. And then finally in the NFL, we didn't hit the 6-team game parlay. Sadly, our first one. I was pretty sure we were going to hit it on our first try,
Me
but
too.
it's just going to have to wait till next week. The Jets beating the Titans threw everybody off on all of their parlays. Also, the Cardinals and Cowboys looked amazing. Ravens money
Cardinals.
line was never in doubt. That was always
Oh, I got a lot of money on the future Cowboys Super Bowl hit at 40-1 preseason. That's looking pretty good right now.
You mean Cardinals?
Cardinals, sorry. What did I say? Yeah, the Cardinals. I
How
put
many
Sorry,
futures you got, Mark?
just the Cardinals. I put a shitload of money on the Cardinals. I was looking at the roster and I was like, and they got J.J. Watt. Jones is going to go off. Their secondary's looking nice. They got Kyler Murray, Hopkins. I was like, there's no way they should be 40-1.
Connor's now
Yeah.
playing great. Like he's getting
They
touchdowns
score
every week.
40 points a game, and they're going to do exactly what the other team from their state did to me, the Phoenix Suns, and get
Yeah,
all the way
Phoenix
in,
Suns.
and I'm going to look like a genius, and they're going to rip my heart out late in the season.
Suns at 4. Oh, whoops. But most importantly, in the NFL, guys, don't know if you saw this. Urban Meyer caught on social media getting his hands and leg, but mostly hands and thumbs, all up in a random girl's ass crack while he was out on the town in Ohio this weekend after his Thursday night game. And
Do you
it's
have the
pretty
video?
awkward. Yeah, I got the video. Consider this, though, that his wife had to deal with this trend happening in real time as it was all going down on Saturday night. Here's the video that got everybody talking at first. And he's got, you see her grinding
right-
on him. White shorts.
It
And
looks
the
like
girl
he's
is-
trying to get out of handcuffs with her ass. With her,
Yeah, he's got
her vagina's like sawing through like a rope. He's like,
he's got his hand fully in there under the legs.
And he was he was doing the classic, like, I'm sitting at this bar stool.
He's posted up. Yeah.
Right. So that, like, it's kind of not me doing it. It's you doing it. You know what I mean? He was kind of like doing that, a little bit of the,
yeah.
I'm just
If he would
sitting
have
here.
put his hands up in the air and been like backing off, that would have been true. But
He had steam coming off of his wrist.
yeah,
Oh, Urban shouldn't have been getting stinky in that girl's back area. But I'm just saying how he's lying to himself. Urban's lying to himself in that respect.
In that defense, like what you're saying, it looks so smooth. It looks like it looks like he's done this. I don't know, maybe 500 times.
Oh, maybe. But
didn't look like his first wrist in the cunt type scenario.
He may have had some plausible deniability going, like it's a little bit of a grainy footage, and like that could just be some other old guy with the young chick who's grinding on his hand. But then this Instagram story got posted everywhere, which is clearly Urban Meyer in the same outfit with the girl who was grinding on his hand, it looks like. So that went out, sort of just confirming it all over the internet, and everybody was sort of just watching it. Now, taking it to the internet to his wife, Shelly. Let's see what she was doing on Saturday night on Twitter. She's real active on Twitter. She quote tweeted a picture from the event he was at. Like, I think it's in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know if the city's right, but she quote tweeted that, and she said, it's Urban having fun with some people who wanted their picture with him. And she said, meanwhile, I'm babysitting. Laughy face, heart emoji, a bunch of hashtags, mom's rule. And it's just pictures of her with kids and bathtubs and stuff.
Yeah. Hashtag buddy deserved a night out. Or is that daddy?
Yeah, that's as in Urban. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, hashtag daddy deserved a night out, which will be his last ever.
Yeah.
Man.
You think that's enough to get a divorce right there?
No, because this has like happened before, I think.
No,
with this guy,
I don't think it's a divorce, but I think he's in the doghouse.
There's rumors, but check out then what happened later. So she had been tweeting pictures bragging about how Ohio's sweet corn is so good earlier in the day. I guess she was feeding that to the kids because she was taking care of so many of them. And then a lesbian corn enthusiast quote tweets her with the corn and says, Urban Meyer doesn't deserve Shelly. Look at how cute her tweet was about the corn, bragging about the Ohio sweet corn. And then she tweets, Shelly, you deserve better than him. Hello, my name is Erica. And those tweets were liked, both of those, by Shelly Meyer.
Nice.
So
I mean, the problem is
she's
that
mad.
Like, well,
she's
I mean, just
she liked a few more tweets that were critical of Urban.
What he did really isn't like, I mean, he's a married guy. Obviously, he's getting grinded on, but it's like if you went to a strip club, like, a lot of married men do, he would have been doing probably worse. It's just it so happens that he got caught on,
Look at the wrist. Look how busy that wrist is. I mean, he is in the vagina.
Yeah,
he knows he could make a clay mold out of her vagina. He knows so much
he's
about
leading
it at this
he's
point.
leading into that grind.
Yeah, he knows exactly the shape.
So here's exactly what's going on. So he is on a bar stool with shorts on, and he has his right arm kind of like dead armed and running down his pant leg, and she's kind of
up in there,
perched on top of his arm. So he's splitting her
hands
legs
in the kitchen
with his hand. Yeah.
I've done this move before. Okay, it is extremely sexual. And it leaves nothing to the imagination on your wrist. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And he knows what he was doing, and it looks like he's done it before.
And then everybody had to like awkwardly watch his wife react to it on Twitter. So just smooth moves, Urban. You made the internet awkward for everybody.
He's the head coach of the Jags. He's the head coach of the Jags.
He's the head coach of the Jags.
What the fuck are you doing at a bar?
Well, they had played Thursday night against Cincinnati.
I don't give
so
a
he
shit.
was still in Ohio.
Keep a low profile, dickhead.
He was the coach at Ohio State, so he still owns like the bar. I think he owns like a lot of property out there. So
it must have been Columbus. Where Ohio State
it's one of his home. It's where he used to coach, and he has a lot of connections. I think he owns things like buildings there.
It's in season.
He's comfortable in that town.
He owns the dance floor.
He owns
with the grind hand.
He owns that move.
You think Saban was at a bar this weekend? No.
Well, Saban's 4-0 and he's 0-4 this year. So
right, Saban's getting mad at winning by 28. So
he got to the top. He's enjoying the fruits of his, hard work, I guess.
Hey, good for him, except for the family.
Right, well, exactly. But I'm saying if you went to a strip club, like a lot of married guys do, just not in public, you would have been doing probably worse.
Very different.
Sure. Yeah. No, I don't think that you can claim like anything like definitively about like what this is. There was just a girl dancing on his hand and it got videoed.
That's why it's not going to be a divorce, but it's obvious to everyone. that
Right.
he's a
It's
dog.
just, it's some bullshit. And Urban's doing it to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's today's cup of coffee in the big time.
Yeah, people. His lady's gonna be smelling his wrist anytime he walks in the door from now on.
Oh yeah, sniff test on the wrist.
Yeah, totally. Hey, y'all, real quick, I want to tell you about a gift I got from my parents recently. I was trying to get them something cool. If you listen to this show, you know that paintyourlife.com has been a longtime partner of ours. I finally got my parents a paintyourlife.com, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, nice.
So it's a hand-painted oil painting of me that I'm sending up there, and the boy, of course, but mostly me, that I'm sending up there
Well, you're bigger.
to meet me for the holidays. So I'm pretty excited about that. Paintyourlife.com is awesome. So straight up, they have world-class artists that you can choose from, and you can choose the medium with them, work with them to paint a photograph that you have or multiple photographs. They can create a scene for you for sure. If you got 3 or 4 photos, you want 3 or 4 photos to feed into one painting, they can take care of you there. But like, it's rich people shit that doesn't cost rich people dollars, and it's awesome. And old people love it. Also, young people love it. It's just rad to have an actual
It's
painting.
so classy. I mean, there's just outside of like, unless you can afford to send some, like if you could buy like a grand piano, the nicest one in the world, that could be maybe more classy, but
Yeah.
probably not. Even
Guarantee it's a gift that's going to be remembered and not be thrown away or put in the closet, as a lot of gifts are. So it's a quick and easy process. Takes 3 weeks, which is actually pretty quick when you're talking about turning around a painting. You send it a picture yourself, bam, they'll take care of it. And guys, right now you can get in on a special offer if you text factor to 64,000. That's the word factor to 64,000. Text that over there, and you can get 20% off your painting, which is insane, and free shipping, which is more insane.
Shut the fuck up.
Free shipping a painting.
You shut up.
It's $200.
Yeah.
Easy, if
Yeah,
not more.
exactly.
Plus the specialty boxes. Forget about it.
I might have to get
it's a
a
huge
painting of
savings.
all 5 cats in the same painting.
Yeah. So
that'd be incredible.
Factor
Yeah.
64,000, paintyourlife.com. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Terms and conditions apply. Available at paintyourlife.com/terms. Again, factor to 64,000. Okay, guys, let's talk about how we're poor and they're rich and how bad that fucking sucks, because that's the case. We're poor. When I say we, I'm talking about everyone listening to this show. Even if you're rich, you're still poor compared to the rich assholes that don't pay taxes. And the Pandora Papers recently got leaked. What are the Pandora Papers? They are financial documents, bank statements, emails, an insane amount of data collected by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists in the largest collaboration of journalists that they've ever organized. It's 11.9 million documents that outline tax shelters, tax havens, and how the richest people on this planet, they don't pay the taxes. Which
This
is
is
something
what got Epstein killed, right? Probably.
that or touching all those kids and then having
Yeah.
relations with very high and powerful people who may
and
have
then
also
him knowing
Who
about
are all
the-
involved
the-
in the Pandora
kids they
Papers.
touched.
exactly. Well,
Potentially.
so we just have the tip of the spear here with the Pandora Papers right now, guys, because again, it's 11.9 million documents. It's insane.
So this is like the IRS leak of the billionaires in the U.S. except for global, kind of.
Yeah, so there's been lots of data about offshore companies coming out for years, right? This is nothing new that people know that people use tax shelters and tax havens, but this is the first time a data leak of this size exposing specific people, right? Many of whom are world leaders. For example, Tony Blair, who campaigned very aggressively against tax shelters and tax schemes, because Tony Blair
but he's big
Hiding in
into
plain sight. Yeah.
absolutely hiding in plain sight. Yeah,
Smart.
pretty fucked up. Real quick, guys.
That's what I would have done too, yeah.
On the list, Putin's
Got to
girlfriend,
get rid of these things.
Wink.
right, aka Putin, pop star and person suspicious of gypsies, Shakira, on the list. Tony Blair, as I said.
Maybe the
That's what the
hogs.
hogs were after, yeah.
Yeah, the hogs. They knew the hogs are for the people.
That's
Boars,
right.
yeah. Mhm.
Hogs are for the people, bro. And 35 other world leaders are on this list. a wealth manager, guys, this is how it works if you want to know. So if you're rich and you can pay legal fees that it costs to get an offshore tax haven, tax shelter, shell company set up, you pay a wealth manager who buys an offshore company for you based in a tax haven location like Panama or Singapore or British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, et cetera. Right? They put that shell company, I guess, in their name, not in your name. But then you can use that shell company to take payments, so you don't get paid.
Oh, it's money laundering.
And then you can buy things in the name of that shell company.
Well, it's money laundering.
100%.
Our hips don't lie, but our accountants do.
Big time.
So it's just legal money laundering.
Exactly. So it's like, hey, Will,
Because you're so rich, you can legally money launder somehow.
right?
Because you're that rich. Borders don't matter, and your money is just flowing.
Exactly. Will, you just paid me $1 million. Thank you so much. But don't pay me. Pay my shell company based in Panama, right? Bam, no taxes on that. Then I want to buy a house with that $1 million. Let me buy it in the name of that shell company that you just paid me $1 million. You fucking idiot. I'm not paying taxes, but you are. Okay, so obviously we've heard of these offshore countries, but what about a place like, I don't know, South Dakota, which has become a major tax haven? I didn't know this. This is a little bit crazy. Really? So South Dakota, right, specifically shields your wealth from the government, since South Dakota has no income tax, no inheritance tax, or no capital gains tax. And it also is the state that in 1981 was the first to abolish anti-usury laws, which allowed credit cards to charge whatever interest rates they wanted, and why Citibank has their headquarters in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and other companies followed. So essentially, South Dakota has dismantled regulation around their trust system. So in the last 10 years, they've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from foreign billionaires who want to shelter their money, and they're parking it right there in South Dakota. I didn't know that.
I wonder why Roundsburg is bulletproof.
Yep. I know.
Everybody in that.
Yeah, so essentially, like, it's proof that all these people are just not paying taxes, and they're people that are enacting tax law. It's fucked up. What do you guys think?
It's terrible, but it's not surprising. I mean, because of the IRS leak earlier this year in America, where it was unveiled that all the billionaires who push, whatever kind of ideology they try to push out there on the verbally or whatever written, but then they're not paying a dime in taxes themselves. So it's like, it's bullshit everywhere. It's bullshit here, it's bullshit globally. So
I mean, it's legal for them, right? This is completely legal.
Yeah,
so it's not illegal necessarily.
So why wouldn't they? Yeah.
At a certain level.
I think when Shakira's accountant said, "What if I were to tell you I could, launder money for you?" She said, "Whenever, wherever."
As long as my money and I will always be together. No, it is somewhat legal. I get that. And I think that's the mode in billionaire circles, is that you're a chump if you're paying taxes, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. They're all.
It's peer pressure. Money laundering peer pressure.
Who can show off with it the most too? It's like Bezos is probably like doing shit he wants to do that and getting out of taxes for it. Like, and that's probably the way it is with Gates too, and all the philanthropic people. They're like, well, I did this much shit that I wanted to do, and it was all in place of paying taxes, and I became X billions richer during that time.
Bezos makes an artwork out of this bullshit. He bought Whole Foods on
so does
leftover
Gates, I'm sure.
budget. Like he buys companies on this
Buffett,
type of shit that never
they
pays
all
taxes.
do. They all do.
Yeah.
Well, Gates took the pledge to give away 99% of his wealth.
When?
Different story.
Right, but I'm sure that's a tax shelter.
When he
No
dies,
Bill
but
Gates
he's looking
bash.
for immortality at the same time. So
Yeah, it could be. Real
when he
quick,
dies
though,
in 3,000 years.
back to the Pandora Papers. It's an intense amount of data. And specifically, I want to talk about the king of Jordan, Abdullah II. So this is fucked up. Over the last 10 years, billions and billions of dollars of U.S. aid money started flowing into Jordan, right? And as soon as that started happening, millions and millions of dollars started flowing out of Jordan into offshore tax shelters, which were then used to buy property for King Abdullah II in our country, the United States. So essentially, we were paying Jordan billions of relief dollars. The King of Jordan was then cleaning that money and then buying compounds in Malibu and shit like that.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked
Yeah,
up. The whole thing. Yeah.
The real estate buy-ups.
We pay taxes.
Yeah. The real estate buy-ups
That's
in general.
smart too.
That's smart too.
Yeah.
I would have done that too.
That's crazy how so many foreign investors are buying real estate, in America, and also like companies in America are buying real estate. That's like some crazy shit. You wonder why the housing market's like so fucking unattainable. It's
Makes you not want to pay taxes, right? This whole thing makes it
Yeah,
seem like,
well,
right?
I'll
Right.
leave you with one fact, guys. It's estimated that the
Seems unfair.
corporations and
Well, 'cause
super
it is.
wealthy
Yeah.
users
It's
of these shelters have stashed $32 trillion untaxed or barely taxed, which just for reference is 10 times the current U.S. budget deficit. Yeah, absolutely. If you're wondering why shit ain't running the way it's supposed to be running, it's because the richest of the rich ain't paying shit.
And the IRS
What do they need
has
with all that money.
And the IRS, as we've covered, has absolutely no ability to check anybody's records but poor people.
They came out and
like
said it.
Mississippi.
They-
Mississippi is like
they
the
said-
highest audit rate because
Yeah.
all they do is they nickel and dime poor people.
Oh.
They don't have any. They don't go after any of these rich people at all.
At the top of the IRS, they released a statement saying not only do they not do it, but they don't have the bandwidth to do it, and they're not going
They're
to
not.
do it.
Never
And
will.
They literally
They're never going
legally
to audit the rich. They're not going
cannot
to.
do it in South Dakota because the trust laws in South Dakota are so deregulated that it's impossible for anyone to look at.
So
You don't even
no
need to
matter
go-
what,
you don't
these
even need to go to South Dakota. You just need to make $1 million a year, and they're not going to audit you.
And that's just upsetting because no matter what these tax raises are going to be, you know, at the end of the day, it's always going to go. Shit
it
rolls
falls
downhill.
on the little man.
Yeah. It
If
always
everyone
does.
did what these guys did, countries would fall apart. But they
They got the
want
money to do it.
you to pay taxes.
I wish those boars had injured Shakira a little worse. You know what I mean?
Hey, first thing we do when we win Powerball, setting up a few offshore.
100% because
accounts.
for us it's fine.
Right.
Fuckers.
Yeah, see, it's just the once you're rich,
We're just jealous.
People just become
Good time.
protective of their wealth.
All right. Well, get your passports ready, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the TikTok International Moment.
First, we're going to France, and then we're going to Turkey, and then we're ending up in, I guess, like Dutch, the Netherlands, and Germany, kind of. So we're going to be in Europe today, if that's okay. I guess Turkey might be Asia.
And
right?
it is.
Yeah. All right.
We.
So a serial killer in France, known notoriously as Le Grele, Grele. Do you know what that word, Will? Is dead. Le Grele. Grele means
Grele,
hail.
no.
Hail, I think.
Hail.
So like actual like balls of ice that fall from the sky. And the reason the serial killer was known as Le Grele is because of his disgusting pockmarked face. He looked like Ray Liotta, who if he had laid out face up in a hailstorm for a few decades.
Oh.
Got
Unlawful
crater
entry.
face.
Looks
Grele.
Looks like what a siding salesman claims my siding looks like after a hailstorm.
Yeah.
Look at my siding. It's Le Grele.
Yeah, and your home insurance will cover the whole thing.
Yeah,
I like this though that the French gave him a mocking name
it's true. Well,
because of his appearance. That
it was
seems-
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was bad. According to witnesses, it was bad.
It's
Probably
better
made
to
him,
do
probably
than
made
some,
him
like-
angrier. You know.
Right. It's
Yeah,
better, but
I
it's
would
better
say
to do
so.
than some like glorifying name. You know, than
That's true.
yeah, it's like
Old huge cock.
Jigsaw or,
Gorilla
or
dick.
Zodiac. Like, yeah.
And get
Old
this,
handsome
guys.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, handsome man. Get this. Le Grele was a former cop, and they didn't catch him. He committed suicide via pills at the age of 59 and left a note saying, "I'm Le Grele. I killed and raped a whole bunch of people in Paris over the course of a few decades. See you in hell." Yeah, I guess the police actually were finally onto him as the man only identified as Francois V, because I think in Europe they don't have to like release. Remember, they do like the privacy things. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Even with Regrele?
Yeah, even Le Grele, a former cop, they won't release his last name. They're calling him Francois V. He was being called in to give his DNA, so he knew the jig was up. And rather than do that, he just took his own life and left a note admitting to everything. And then they ran his DNA, and sure enough, the former cop was Le Grele. And Le Grele, the sick son of a bitch, killed and raped women as young as 11 years old, so girls. He also killed a few 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, but one of his victims was 11, and one of them was 14, and he did some really heinous, violent, and nasty stuff to these
What
women.
a piece of shit.
Yeah. In his note, he said he was not well in life in the 80s and 90s when he committed the murders, and that part was pretty obviously Le Grele. Pretty obvious, Le Grele. Thanks, crater face. Yeah, we know you weren't well when you were doing that to people.
So
Anyways,
he thought he had improved himself afterwards.
yeah, I guess he stopped doing it for like 20 years.
and then he was a good guy. Okay,
maybe the insults like Wes was saying.
fuck you, Legrele.
Yeah, Cecile Bloch's older brother, and Cecile was the 11-year-old victim, recalls bumping into the pockmarked man in the elevator, and he said it was odd because he was extremely confident and told me to have a very, very good day. It's almost like he couldn't see the reflection of his disgusting face in the elevator walls. Yeah. because he's like in an elevator he should not be confident. It's like just like looking at all of his disgusting.
That's the last place you should.
And this just goes to show you to not trust people with pockmarked faces. They have too big a chip on their shoulder. Just give them a disgusted look when you walk by them and move on as fast as you can.
Yeah, treat them like outcasts. That won't turn them into serial killers.
Treat them how they think they should be treated.
Now, after hearing this, I think the grele was too much for it. It made it worse.
That's right.
Yeah, it was. It made it worse.
They did. Yeah, calling him grele in every paper will. You think that pissed him off?
It made it worse.
Hail face.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was angry at God and his parents' genetics.
What a
and
piece
stuff.
of shit.
His dermatologist.
His dermatologist. Yeah.
He's hoping it's not that bad, and then he opens the paper and
grele.
shit. It is that bad.
Like, are they saying my face looks like it got hit with hail?
Yeah.
No.
Like he was out in a hailstorm.
Is that what they're saying?
Holy shit.
I don't even get it, but whatever. All right, let's head over to Turkey for a shirtless drinking story. I'm pretty sure you could have assumed that was the case, and you were right. It's Turkey. So 50-year-old Beyhan Mutlu was drinking with his friends, who very likely were not wearing shirts, when he got sick of them, as he does at some point during every shirtless drinking session, and he walked off in the woods to let off some steam.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
We all have this friend.
Okay, I leave you now. You talk too much. Shit. And then the problem is
No.
I'm leaving. Talk too much shit. But the problem is when he walked off in the woods, he got lost in a forest in the Bursa province, which looks like an easy place to get lost in. In the forest up there. Yeah. A lot of forest, a lot of everything looks the same. When he didn't make it back at all that night, his wife and friends alerted authorities, and a big shirtless search party was formed to find Mutlu. It was around that time that Mutlu sobered up a bit, and he started heading back into town when he stumbled upon the search party that was looking for him, and he decided to join it. He was like, sure, we're looking for someone. I'll help find someone. I'm an expert in these woods. This is where I go to let off steam when my friends are dicks. So I'll absolutely help you. At first, he thought it was odd when the search party people kept calling out his name loudly. He was like, yeah, and he waved back at them. Finally having enough, he said, what? I'm right here, guys. No need to yell. And at that point, the confused rescue team did a quick double take, and then they asked him a few questions. They're like, you're Beyhan Mutlu? And he was like, yeah. And they're like, Jesus, we're looking for you. And so one of the police rescuers took him aside to get a statement from him to find out like what exactly was going on here. Was this something accidental or not? And his statement was, don't punish me too harshly, officer. My father will kill me. So they then took the 50-year-old man. They then drove the 50-year-old man home, where his elderly father was probably waiting shirtless to wrestle him straight into the earth.
With a belt, yeah.
Yeah, with a belt.
Smoking a cig.
No word on if the man will be fined or if the town was just going to watch his dad beat the shit out of him as retribution. Like, just the whole town circles up.
He still lives with his dad and in fear of his father.
He certainly lives in fear of his father. He's 50 years old and
That's
has
a
a
Turkish
wife.
custom.
He might be like neighbors, I think they share.
If he's 50, his dad's got to be like at least 70, right? Or something.
You'd assume, but I guess he's just been beating the shit out of him still. Because Mutlu tends to wander off, and he's a bit of a tiz. That Mutlu.
He's got a drinking problem because his dad just beats the shit out of him all the time.
Yeah, it's a circle.
Yeah,
it's a cycle, vicious cycle over there. And the
Get
Mutlu
slapped
clan.
down, and then go find some hooch, and then get lost.
His friends make fun of him. They're like, "Oh, you better get home, or your dad's gonna beat you up." Then he wanders off angrily, and then people have to find him, and his dad gets mad. Yeah, it sucks.
Happened before you.
Tough life. All right,
vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle. And lastly, have you guys ever thought about I probably know the answer based on earlier in the show, but have you guys ever thought about taking a course from criminals on how to commit crimes?
Yes.
If it was offered.
I've listened to podcasts and watch TV about the heists and stuff, but
they would know, right? Like,
yeah.
who else? If you're gonna,
if you could
learn
somehow
about
go
crimes,
to
you
that
probably wanna
without,
learn-
if it was advertised though, it would for certain be a trap by the feds. So,
right?
How would you get invited to something like that where it wouldn't be a setup? That's the question.
Or so like what if they had like a training center and they were selling videos, for price? Like obviously they might rip you off because they're criminals, but that's what kind of happened with a couple of 20-something Dutch guys who started. They're in a gang, and their gang, they decided to start a training center to teach people how to break into ATMs, because that's exactly what their gang was good at doing. In fact, the criminal gang they were a part of was responsible for the break-in of at least 15 ATMs in Germany in the past few years, and the theft of over 21.5 million euros. So pretty good haul. They decided to create a training center and to film themselves breaking. They would order these ATMs, bring them into their facility, and then show you how they broke into them, record it, and then have you pay for these videos, so you could then decide to do it in your own gang. And it was what were they doing?
That's cocky.
Yeah, no, it's very cocky. They had to get a whole facility. They had to order these ATMs, and the method that they actually prefer to do was explosives. They weren't picking locks. They were blowing open the face of these ATMs. So that's what they were doing in the videos. And one of the videos, now deemed how to break into an ATM with homemade explosives, fail. The 29 and 24-year-old gang member blew themselves up while filming in their training center in the Dutch city of Utrecht, according to EU police agency Europol. So they're like, now you're going to want to place the explosive in the bottom right corner of the ATM, and then move back about 20 feet and around the corner, and then push the button like this. Oh, wait, you haven't moved back 20 feet. Boom.
Damn. They blew themselves up.
They blew themselves up in the video.
How many people died?
It was just the two of them in the video, and the 29-year-old died, and the 24-year-old wishes he was dead because he has severe disfigurements. And yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, you probably don't. Also, the training center lost a few members after they heard about the.
You can't trust those tapes anymore.
Yeah, no. Sickos are buying the tape for other reasons, but they're not getting membership into the criminal gang. Europol did not want to show the video because it was too graphic, but they did liken it to this video clip that they did actually release. It's Wile E. Coyote.
Yep. Compilation of him blowing himself up. Several of them.
So, it was a lot like this.
Dynamite here.
Yeah.
There was a rocket before.
Yeah.
They were called the Wile E. Coyote crew. And this is the last one, my favorite. He's calling it. Oh no. He blew himself up again. That's Wile E. Coyote.
Classic.
Funny
Didn't
stuff.
tell you we're bomb experts. Just
Yeah. This is how you could do it.
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, I'm going to be honest. I almost didn't do this story. I thought long and hard before reporting this because, frankly, I'm torn. You'll soon see why. On one hand, I don't want this story to contribute to women not wearing a certain piece of clothing out of fear. But on the other hand, I also don't want them dying, so I put aside my selfish and perverted nature for a second in hopes that this might actually save one of you out there. But let it be known, I don't think you're in any real danger. I repeat, I secretly don't want you to stop wearing this piece of clothing, okay? Guys.
It's noble of you, Wes.
Yeah, it is pretty noble of me. Well, thank you.
Big of you.
Yeah. So, guys, you like high-cut jean shorts on women, right? You like the way they look, right? You like the way they make you feel?
Here?
Huh? Like
Daisy
jean
Dukes
shorts,
here.
like, like these, those kinds?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, me too.
Not
Same
bad.
page so far. Well, what if I told you that those high-cut shorts are actually a danger to women and could kill them if they aren't careful?
Yeah, if they're around Urban Meyer.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. Well,
Very
guess so.
dangerous.
so let me introduce you to Samantha. Okay. That's Samantha on the left there with her BFF. There's another picture of Samantha. She likes wearing the high-cut jean shorts. Okay.
She really, I mean, she's really into these high cut jeans.
She's got a few
Every
pairs.
picture
She's
is-
got it. She likes,
Yeah.
one of her staples. So Sam is 25 years old now, but 3 years ago she went on a date and was trying to get it in, as the kids say these days. So she wore something that told her date, "Hey, look at this. When you like to get it in tonight," and she wore some very high cut jean shorts. Unfortunately,
She said it like that to him. She's
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to get it in?
you want to get it in, yeah. So she said.
It's the type of outfit that drove Grele crazy.
Oh, grele. Jesus. Unfortunately for Sam, her date, Sam didn't get a dick. Sam and her date, Sam didn't get a dick on her that night. She actually got her shorts and underwear in her in the form of extreme wedgies throughout the date. That Sam said, huh?
What? You said extreme
Yeah,
wedgies?
extreme wedgies. Yeah. That Sam said she picked several times through the date. This is like an 8-hour ordeal. Here's what Sam had to say. And I quote, "I went on a full date with this guy I was newly dating and realized I was wearing very uncomfortable clothes. I chose to ignore it and just enjoy my time. The next day I felt very sore and then started feeling ill, just not 100%. That night I noticed that I had a large bump where the chafing had occurred. So these shorts chafed her. And as time went on, it became more and more painful. The pain was isolated to one spot, and it felt like throbbing, stabbing pain. So, this is a bad thing. So the next day, she went to the doctor to get some meds, but the booty shorts already fucked her. Quote, the very next morning, I was in septic shock and rushed to the ER by my mom. I was shivering, very breathless, could not walk, and had extreme body aches. They admitted me to the ICU, and that's when I realized this is a bit more serious than I had anticipated. I was in the ICU for almost 4 days, where the doctors were debating debridement, which is basically cutting off the part of her ass that got infected.
No.
Yeah. Here she is in the ER with her parents.
Oh, no.
She got cellulitis and sepsis from those goddamn booty shorts. You believe
She's
that?
not wearing undies?
Oh, she was. They just were. Her undies were too small. I guess they were just cutting her. Yeah. So.
Oh my god. Undies are tiny.
Yeah. Oh my. Cellulitis is a common bacterial skin infection that causes redness, swelling, and pain in the infected area. And sepsis is when your body is so infected that your body basically sends in the car to fight it off as a last-ditch effort. But it's very life-threatening and occurs when chemicals are released in the bloodstream to fight off the infection, and it triggers inflammation and can cause your organs to fail. So sepsis is like very life-threatening. And then Dr. Carmen Fong, who's a licensed colorectal surgeon, so like a butt surgeon, thinks that Sam got an anorectal abscess. And listen up, guys, because this applies to us too, not just to these girls in booty shorts. An anorectal abscess occurs in about 100,000 people a year, but most of us believe this reported number is lower than the actual number because people often don't talk about their butt problems, abscesses, or mistake their abscesses for hemorrhoids. And judging from Sam's story, she likely had an anorectal abscess caused by an anal fissure or an anal fistula, both of which are pretty common. Tell me about it, Doc. An abscess starts when bacteria gets into the skin, and Sam's 8-hour-long wedgie probably gave her a small cut. Then wearing tight shorts kept bacteria inside, trapped in a moist, dark environment where bacteria like to live.
You guys remember when I told you about how I know firsthand about the stigma that is going in to deal with the butt issue. So I had a staph infection on one of my ass cheeks. It was either on the ass cheek or on the thigh, right next to the ass cheek, almost into the gooch. I took it. I went into like an urgent care center to get it dealt with, and it was in such a placement that the doctors brought in other people to watch the lancing. Because it was such an impressively placed staph infection on my grundle that they needed everybody to see it.
You were face down. All you could hear is the clicking of cameras and flashes.
Just could hear a lot of giggles, a lot of chuckles, a lot of elbows, people elbowing each other.
Looked like a main event fight in Vegas with all the flashes going off.
I've been there, Will.
And then it's like, all right, well, okay. Then they cut it open and they drained it. But I'm glad I got it dealt with. But there is a stigma.
It is.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
I got sent to a pharmacy, and it was the organic pharmacy where usually hot women work to get a specific compound prescription filled, and the pharmacy was one that had a loudspeaker. Hey, your blank is ready, and the thing I was prescribed was called a rectal rocket, which I thought was a descriptive name.
They said rectal rocket over there.
They said rectal rocket, bro.
A rectal rocket.
You could sue
Rectal rocket.
For Pat
I don't think you can. It's sad, Wes. I don't think either of us could.
Okay. Well, I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, if you've ever had a friend that's a nurse, male or female nurse, or a nurse, or like people, like the first thing they tell you when they're drinking is the grossest stories. Like someone had an abscess on their ass. They don't give you the names of the patients, but they tell you exactly about the funniest, grossest stories. The first thing they do when they get off work. So yeah, I get it. Also, the Daisy Dukes are nice, but you got to be if you're wearing a Daisy Duke and you're within wrist distance of Urban Meyer, you're gonna have denim coming out of your teeth.
Well, you know what?
You got to be careful.
It makes me wonder now that Wes has said this story
Rubbing
to
it
us.
all the way up there.
For sure. Urban Meyer will get you. Also, I was playing rugby at the time. I bet you rugby got me because those shorts are like super thick and they get like all like rubbing on your area.
Urban Meyer's put 17 women in a toxic shock.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
So what happened to her butt, though?
So luckily they didn't have to operate on her butt. She made it through. Here's a picture of her parents who brought her barbecue
Nice.
to the
Really?
ER.
Something's gonna make you shit?
Yeah, I don't know if that was.
That was stupid.
And then
she just loves barbecue, you know.
yeah, and then going to the
Brought her
internet.
beans.
Yeah, going to the internet. Mr. Sardonicus said, "Let's take a selfie in the ER of our barbecue feast after our daughter's fissure got
Yeah,
lanced."
exactly.
Really?
I agree.
You know what? You know what she probably wants is smoked meats.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably putting together a picture of how she's apt to fishers to begin with, right?
Yeah. So there was a lot of shaming of
Family
this
doesn't
girl
get it.
on the internet about well, this guy Mike said this is why aliens won't talk to us, you know. And then
Oh, come on, give me a
these
break.
people-
That's harsh. That's harsh.
That's harsh, Mike.
And this one, Tissoy said, "Wash it more often is the key."
Oh,
and then
wow.
to that, someone replied, "Exactly." And then someone replied, "It has to do with chafing, not uncleanliness." And then Jules said, "It's the combination." So
they're
people
just
just
calling her
calling Sam
dirty.
yeah, she's a dirty girl that likes to wear.
That's
you know,
mean.
that is mean. But
Was
Yeah,
there a
Pat?
second date? Probably not, right?
actually, Pat, I have a follow-up story. It's a very happy ending. She didn't have her ass cut off.
Nice.
She survived. And
Nice.
according to the BuzzFeed article, the guy actually came to the hospital to take care of Sam during her ordeal, and they're still together 3 years later. So he did get it in the end.
Oh, that's thirsty.
Yeah.
You know why? Well, you know why
I
he
like
took
it.
care of her, because what you're all missing is it wasn't the Daisy Dukes or the undies. It was the fact that she likes anal sex, and he
She
picked
likes a
up on
little
it.
play.
He picked up on it. The chafing was from a wiener going in and out of her butthole.
I mean, you tell me.
That's why he went to the hospital, I think.
You tell me. Yeah.
Do you think it was like him, like, you know, like, hey man, you get a girl pregnant, you got to step up.
He
and
caused
take,
the fissure.
Take care of that baby.
One of his friends was like, "Did you say she had an anal fissure? You gotta get to the hospital.
You create a fissure.
Buy her some balloons.
That's your
What are you still doing here?
Yeah, what are you still doing here? Get her some flowers and a few balloons and
look
a
at
teddy
that
bear.
fissure.
Get the fuck over there.
Okay, humble brag, we get it, but get your ass to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. You
Get
gave
outta
her an
here.
anal fissure.
Yeah.
It's a
Good,
light
good
tear.
point, Mark.
I'm glad she's healthy.
Yeah, she's okay. She's doing fine.
for her.
But yeah, just word to the wise, be careful. It's like, if you go like on a walk in the woods, you check for ticks after a long date wearing, these, you check for some cuts down there and take care of
true.
yourself. Yeah.
Oof. When you're wiping
Anyway.
if you see blood. Okay, that's enough. Never mind. All right.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, imagine my wrist is a bucking bronco and you're a cowgirl.
I want you to tear through my wrist.
What do you think he was saying in that
Say your
moment?
vagina shoots lasers. Get right through the bone.
You hear that? That's my wrist, super parched.
Break my wrist.
You're going to give yourself sepsis.
Oh no.
Oh, my wrist is like a desert right now.
Oh, we're going to give
It's
you
like
sepsis.
a camel.
Yeah. All right, that's good to it for Hard Factor. Hey, patreon.com/Hard Factor. If you want to get on tonight's Powerball winning, get in on the Discord today. You might just be the next millionaire, and thanks to us. So you're welcome for that.
That's right. Anyone that's in on it doesn't have to do a job at Hive Island because we paid our portion. Everyone else can come to Hive Island, but they have to do like labor.
I don't like setting that tone though, because then it's going to build resentment.
Well, yeah, but they can still come, but they just have to like do the actual work. They got to like clean up the beer cans and all that stuff or whatever's going on.
It'll be a very unequal society.
drag people out of the sun when they pass out so they don't die.
Yeah,
that type of stuff.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Have a great fucking day.